Summary Smoothie. Sip smart, learn fast. Ben Shapiro talks about Israel versus Hamas at the Oxford Union. 1. During a discussion at the Oxford Union, a member of the audience questions the justification for Israel's actions against Palestinians, citing the high number of casualties, including children, and the fact that many Palestinians are being held hostage without charge. Ben Shapiro argues that there are many terrorist groups in the region, not just Hamas, and that Israel is targeting areas infiltrated by terrorism. The audience member brings up the Great March of Return, where Palestinians peacefully marched to their land but were shot at and killed. 2. Shapiro argues that there is no right of return to certain areas and questions the idea of descendants claiming property rights. He discusses the March of Return, a peaceful resistance against the occupation of Palestine, with the audience member. They debate the definition of wrongful occupation and discuss the issue of terror groups. The conversation also touches on Shapiro's conservative political views and his Jewish faith, as well as the accuracy of information being shared on social media. 3. A member of the audience asks a question about the history of Palestine and accuses Shapiro of inaccuracies in his published videos. The audience member argues that Jordan has never been considered part of Palestine historically, and that the Arabs have not rejected peace deals. Ben Shapiro responds by stating that the British Mandate ruled over all of Palestine, including Jordan, and that the Arabs have rejected multiple peace deals throughout history. 4. Ben Shapiro argues that the reason why the Arabs reject a Jewish state in the region is due to the history of Zionism as a settler colonial project. He also refutes the claim that the Arabs simply rejected the UN partition plan, citing an intercommunal civil war that preceded it. Shapiro also argues that there can be no two-state solution when one side fundamentally rejects the possibility of it. 5. The conversation then shifts to a discussion about the West's values and identity, with Shapiro contends that if the West does not stand up for its core values, it risks being overtaken by alternative sets of values. However, he does not believe that the collapse of a communal moral code is inevitable and predict a backlash against moral relativism. 6. Shapiro believes that while the West has made mistakes, its value system is better than other systems available. The foundation of the West's moral code is Judeo-Christian, but secularization has caused a decline in these values. The loss of a common moral code may lead to desecularization and people seeking community in political movements. The two-party political system in America often results in negative referendums on candidates, and a stronger third party is unlikely to make serious inroads. It is easier to take over one of the major parties, as seen with Trump and Sanders. 7. An audience member asks why Ben Shapiro, who is a Republican but not a Trump supporter, does not support Joe Biden, as he is seen as less of a threat to American democracy than Trump. Shapiro states that he does not agree with the premise that Trump is a serious threat to democracy and that the American constitutional system is strong enough to withstand any potential threats. He also points out that Biden has used executive power in ways they disagree with and that there are different types of threats to democracy. Further on, Ben Shapiro discusses the need for Israel to remove Hamas from power with an elected member of the Standing Committee. He argues that they pose a significant threat to the safety and security of Israeli citizens. However, removing them will be a difficult and dangerous task, as Hamas has built up resources and a vast tunnel system. He also expresses his pro-life stance on abortion, prioritizing the protection of the unborn over the safety of women who may resort to unsafe abortions if it is illegal. He argues that abortion should not be allowed for anyone, regardless of income level.